So today is going to be a quick video, and I just want to go over the 13th week cash flow forecast template I have out there for you guys, just to walk through it, show you how it works, and then if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or send us a message at info@wallstonadvisoryfirm.com. All right, so this is your summary tab of the spreadsheet, and this just summarizes the different categories of income and expenses that would come in to create a positive or negative cash flow. So the biggest thing is to make sure that you have the date set correctly and then your cash balance as of that date. So you're going to start over here on this tab called Cash Forecast. And at the top, it's blue. And then this is your date. So you put in the Sunday that you want to start, and then it's going to just update the rest of the weeks from there. So I'm starting it on the week of the 23rd, which is a Sunday. So this will be next week, and then what you'll do is, I think it's a great idea to update this on Mondays. So it doesn't, since banks are closed on Sundays, it doesn't really matter much anyway. But so starting Monday, this is going to be your cash balance this Monday morning, and then you're going to come in here and adjust your receivables. So maybe John Smith here, he paid early, so we can get rid of that one. Or maybe you've got some new customers here, and maybe this is Joe Smith. And he had $300 here, but you also sold him something else, and he's going to pay you over here. So it's just update where it is. The real nice thing to do here is make this all formulas that pull from another tab. So I have an AR tab in my sheet here that I would be pasting in a report from your accounting software, and then all you have to do is over here is update when you think the receivable will come in. A lot of accounting softwares let you do that anyway. Then you can just double check, make sure they're updated, and then you double check that your total AR matches on both sheets, and then you've got your accounts receivable taken care of. If you need help with that formula, let me know. That makes AR easy to update. And then once you got an AR in, that's most of your income. We'll deal with line of credit here in a second. And then you come on down to inventory and capital purchases. So these are slightly different than your operating purchases, because these are mostly inventory or balance sheet items. So what you'll do is you'll go in here and put in the POs and when you think you're going to purchase them, pay for them. And so maybe you have 30-day terms and you expect a shipment to come in August 30th, the week of August 30th. So that means you don't have to pay that until the end of September. So that'd be here. So maybe you got 25 or 35K there. Maybe this one you've already received the shipment in last week. Or no, you're receiving this shipment this week. So maybe that's 15K shipment. So on and so forth. Get them all in there so that you have an idea of when those inventory purchases are due. And then come down here and say, okay, we've got maybe you got a new printer, maybe you've got some computers you're buying, you're purchasing. Put them in here on the date you're purchasing them. And then maybe you got a forklift you want to buy. Anything else, any equipment, anything like that. You can insert rows here at the bottom. So if you insert a row here, it should still total. Or you can put one in the middle. Doesn't really matter. You can insert rows pretty much anywhere you want in this area, and the totals at the bottom will pick up. But it's always good to double check to make sure they're still working when you insert rows and delete rows. Then you come down to operating expenses. These ones should be recurring. These ones should be relatively easily to throw in here. You just run a P&L. Go through the different categories and see which ones are reoccurring and which ones aren't, and then go ahead and what I do for the ones that aren't so reoccurring but they happen relatively often is I do an average. So I'll do an average for most of the weeks for those ones, and then as it gets closer I'll update them to the known expenses that I know are going to happen. And then for bank fees, those are pretty obvious. This one you can also change into credit card transaction fees, and then what you can do is on your income statement, you can figure out what percent on average your fee charges, and so it's probably going to be less than what you're actually charged. So all I do is I take the total income and I divide it by, or I divide charges, transaction fee charges by total income, and that gives you a percentage of all income that sort of transaction fees are. And so you can just put that percent in there, point it up to your revenue, and automatically calculates what that's going to be. So do things like that. So for you, I've already done that with wages and salaries. So if you go in here and put any amount in here, it'll automatically add a portion of the employer portion of payroll taxes. So you probably want to add another % in there. So throw in a parentheses here. And then add in your unemployment rate. So it could be E51 times, I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe it's 2%. And that'll give you your unemployment rate insurance as well. That way all you have to do is put your salary and wages. And then what you can do is, as this week changes, you can just go up here and say, okay, well, this just moves forward 1 week. Boom. And then come back on the back end here and add in, whatever the wages are going to get paid down here. And then you just copy and paste the stuff down as the weeks go on for most of this stuff. You can do that with pretty much everything. And then what I would do is I would go in here before you're updating a new week, copy and paste it all down. So take it, copy it down to the front, and then come on the back end week and then change this to what it needs to be. And then come up to the front and double check these expenses for these 2 weeks, because those are the ones that are going to probably change a little bit. And then you come down here to loan payments, other expenses, owner distributions. So put in here what your credit card payments are going to be. So you can do an average, like I said before, out in past weeks, and then up front put what you know that's actually going to be. And then if your owner distributions are related to anything specific, you can try to do a formula there. Or if it's just you get paid the same amount every month, then you just throw the same amount in every month. And then you have loan payments. So if you have an outstanding loan, maybe you've got the SBA to the disaster loan, you'll put those in there. PPP loan payments maybe, and then line of credit payback. And then that will give you your total cash payments, which this is a collection of your inventory, operating cash, and other expenses. And then what the formula here at the bottom does, it says, okay, you got 2 different formulas. You have this one, which says take your cash, add in your receivables, and subtract your total expenses. And that gives you what your cash position should be if you collected all AR. The bottom one here is to say, well, what if you didn't collect anything? This is where you'd be. And so that's kind of a nice thing to tell you, well, we're in the green no matter what. Feeling pretty good about this week, but looks like next week, if we don't collect our AR, it's going to be in the yellow. So maybe AR is not that big of a priority this week, but it better be next week. And then you can see as it goes on what happens here. So it looks like week 3, if we don't collect AR, we're going to be out of money. But if we do, we'll be okay. And then by week 4, we're going to be out of cash based on what's currently going on. So, and that's the other thing to point out. This is equal to this number here. So it assumes you collect AR. So that means that this number here is always in an assumption that you collected AR from the last week. So that means week 4 we got to do something. So that lets us know, one, we either need to put some cells in here, figure out where we can get some cells, or maybe we can talk to Joe Smith here, move his cell collection date up to here, or maybe we could do like half and half, 15 grand here, and then get 1,700 here. Maybe that'll help us out. Let's go take a look. All right, we're in the yellow now, but we're still in the negative. So that means we need to make some more cells this week and this week so that we can collect them here. Or if we maybe we knew we had a real big cell coming out up, maybe 100 grand out here. Which will take us, and then we know we're gonna have some other cells come in, so that we won't be negative out here, but we don't know what they are. So you could always, draw down on your line of credit, maybe 20 grand here. And that makes us positive here, barely, and then hopefully we'll have more AR to take into account. So that's kind of the idea here, is you play with the sheet to update the numbers, and then once you've got it to where you want it to be, you can come over here and say, okay, where are my holes? What's going on? What do we need to do? And so that is the whole idea behind weekly forecast, is you want to do, here's what's most likely to happen, and here's the issues that happen because of that, and then as the week progresses, you should be doing things to make them not happen, and so that when you get to this week and you're reforecasting, things have changed so that these numbers aren't as negative in the future. So So that's a quick overview of the 13-week cash flow forecast template I have out there. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll leave a link to my blog post as well. Thank you for your time, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or you can shoot us an email. Thanks.